This is a 2023 Jeep Wagoneer L Series 2 4x4. This is a $78,000 SUV that I've been driving around for the last couple of weeks here. And you may ask, what in the world does this SUV have to do with the Dodge Charger? This Wagoneer is equipped with a 3-liter twin-turbo Hurricane engine, which pushes out 420 horsepower. So what is so special about this Hurricane engine? This engine is going to be the new engine in the 2025 Dodge Charger 6-pack. I've been driving around this SUV for the last few weeks. My thoughts on the Hurricane engine, and will it actually make the Dodge Charger great again without having a V8 in it? Being part of the car community is a wonderful feeling, but unfortunately, if you own any sort of Mopar, Camaro, or maybe even a Corvette, you may have to keep your eyes on your car a little bit more due to the increasing theft rates of these vehicles. No matter what mod you may install on your car, make sure one of your first things that you install on your car is CarLock. This is the world's best GPS tracker and alert system. With CarLock, you will be able to live track your car via GPS directly from your phone, as well as get alerts sent to your phone for any kind of activity that may be going on to your car, such as your engine starting when it should not be starting, or your car moving when it should not be moving. And if there's a power loss that the CarLock will detect, it will give you an alert for that as well. Make sure you protect yourself with CarLock by going to the link in the description below and using these codes here to get yourself a 10% discount, as well as a 14-day free trial for your CarLock. You deserve that peace of mind. Let's go ahead and get into the video. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. So the question is, why do I have a $80,000 Jeep Wagoneer in my possession right now? I know I keep moving the price up. It started out at 67 and we had 77. I'm saying it's $80,000. It's $80,000 SUV. Why do I have this SUV? Well, I live in a part of North Carolina that got hit partially by the hurricane, not as bad as others. And when that happened, it knocked all the traffic lights out in my area. The wife was driving her SUV to work, and people forgot how to use broken traffic lights when it came to intersections, and someone tapped the SUV on the side. Now, it wasn't a lot of damage to it, but it was enough that it needed to go into the shop to be fixed. So as a rental, this is what we got. We got this Wagoneer because it's comparable to the Tahoe. So in this video, we're going to talk about this Hurricane engine in this thing. So this Hurricane engine is the new engine that will be going to the 2025 Dodge Charger 6-pack that I know a lot of people have been waiting on to come out over the EV car. This has that engine in it. So I want to give you my experience with driving this Wagoneer with that particular engine in it. Also, just a couple other things with this Wagoneer compared to the Tahoe that we got as well. So a couple things I want to talk about here. This is the Wagoneer. This is not the Grand Wagoneer. The Wagoneer only comes with the, as far as I can see, it only comes with the inline 6 twin turbo Hurricane engine putting out 420 horsepower. Now when you get into the Grand Wagoneer, which is going to be the one, the fancy one, that one comes with the high output Hurricane engine that is putting out 520 horsepower. Same engine, different tune on it. That's going to put out more horsepower, and it also has the option for the 6.4 liter Hemi engine, which we know that is the same engine that is in the Scat Pack that is currently at home sitting in the garage right now. But let's talk about this before I get into how this engine drives with this big mammoth of a yacht of an SUV, which is supposed to be big. Let's hear how it sounds, right? Let's hear how this sounds. Now, one thing I want to say about this: anytime that with Mopar or any Dodge product, whatnot, when it comes to the SUVs and the exhaust sounds, they usually tame the exhaust down, right? They usually make it a little bit more quieter. Case in point, if you don't believe me, listen to a stock Hellcat Durango startup. It sounds like a V6. I got a friend that has one, and when he started up his SUV, and I might still have the clip, it sounded like a V6.
All right, next we got the 21 Hellcat Durango. What we got, Hellcat Durango? Definitely crazy. That's a family vehicle right there. It's making 10,000 horsepower.
But don't let that get you messed up. That thing is still fast. But let's get the sound of this engine. So there you have it. That is the sound of the Hurricane engine here. Now, I don't expect anyone to be blown away with the way it sounds because of the fact this is an SUV, a family SUV, and they're not going to make this thing sound really, really aggressive. But one thing we can maybe bank on here is when they do come out with that new 2025 Dodge Charger 6-pack, that the engine note will be a little bit more aggressive because the exhaust system will be less restrictive than it is on this SUV, right? They're not trying to make this SUV sound loud and aggressive or anything like that. They're just, you got to make it comfortable for the whole family, right? Like I said, with the Durango, also it has a Hellcat engine in it, but they made that one relatively quiet. But that's how the car sounds. Now, I know I did not do any kind of pulls or flybys or anything like that. I mean, I'm in a parking lot, so I'm not going to do that here. But I will say this, the Tahoe that this car is kind of replacing temporarily, the Tahoe has a 5.8 liter V8 that puts out, I think, about 355 horsepower. We have a smaller engine with this 3-liter Hurricane twin turbo, and we're putting out more power with this particular engine. Now, how does that feel in this big mammoth SUV? I will say, for an SUV this size, this SUV is bigger than a Tahoe. This is the L series. The L series has the extended back on it, which pretty much makes this the size of a Suburban and bigger than the Tahoe. This thing sits outside because it doesn't fit in the garage, unfortunately. But it does pull pretty good with this big mammoth SUV. Now, if we take that same Hurricane engine and put it into the Dodge Charger, which is going to be lighter than this, granted, it's still going to be heavy. I did a video on how much I think it's going to weigh, but that engine is definitely going to hold its own for sure. We're talking about an engine that's going to be more powerful than your RT with the standard output, and then when you go into the high output Hurricane engine, that one's going to be more powerful than the current Scat Pack that we have now with that. So the engine definitely is going to hold its own here. I've been pretty impressed with how well this engine has done in this big SUV. Now, I expected it to be pretty sluggish because of how big it is, but it has definitely surprised me. Now, granted, I'm not expecting the speed to blow me away with this SUV because it's not a performance SUV at all. This is pretty much a off-road family SUV, so I'm not expecting to be blown away by how fast it goes and things like that. But I've been impressed with the Hurricane engine thus far. Now, I know you guys are thinking, oh, you're going to get rid of your 6.4 liter 392 wide body Scat Pack to get a Hurricane Charger. No. I don't know how else to say that, but no. I mean, I'm impressed with the performance for what it is, but I like the V8 in my Scat Pack. Let's be real. I love the V8. I love the sound of it. Right now, I haven't really heard this particular engine modded as far as like exhaust wise is concerned, so I really haven't heard that. I've only heard video clips, haven't heard it in person or anything like that. As well, another layer to that is modability. I know these engines are similar to what's in the BMWs and things like that, so an inline twin turbo V6 should have a lot of options to upgrade it and make it faster. But right now, these engines aren't in cars people want to make faster. Like, who's going to take a Wagoneer and make it faster? Now, I know they used the engine in the Roadkill Nights. I think there was one of the cars there, a few cars that was pushing over 1,000 horsepower, but we know 1,000 horsepower is capable because Dodge has the Category 5 Hurricane engine that is supposed to have 1,000 horsepower. So these engines are capable of a lot of horsepower. Now, the thing that I want to know is how much it's going to take to get you to 1,000 horsepower, how much it's going to take to get you to the 600 level, the 700 level, things like that. What other things will have to be swapped out to get to that level? Or can you just turn it up, turn up the turbos and go for it? Can you just maybe replace the turbos and turn up the power? Like, what all has to be done to get to that level? How expensive will it be, or how cheap will it be? One thing that a lot of people hate about the Hemi engines is that they take a lot of money to mod, especially the 5.7s, the 6.4s, all that type of stuff. The Hellcats, a little bit cheaper because you can just change pulleys and injectors and get more power out of them, but you don't have that same luxury when it comes to the 5.7s and the 6.4s. We know the 5.7s when it comes to boost are better than the 6.4s, but you can still build on the 6.4. But both of those engines are really expensive to get power out of. Granted, yes, you can boost the 5.7, you can boost the 6.4, but both of those have limits where you're going to have to start changing internal parts to get it to higher levels or things like that. You can't just slap a blower on a 5.7 and think, okay, I'm at Hellcat power and just turn it up. It still needs a lot of work done to it. Now, before I go on a quick drive with this car, just a couple of things I want to point out in my experience with the Wagoneer. For a $78,000 SUV, is it worth the price? I think the styling is great. Nothing wrong with styling at all. I'm pretty cool with that. I don't have any issues with that at all. Since driving this, I do see a lot of these on the road, and looking at some of the sales numbers, the Wagoneer does sell pretty well. It's one of Jeep's best-selling SUVs here. So, and out of all the Mopar platform, this is the best-selling SUV. It's beating the Dodge Durango in sales for sure. So, quick walk around the Wagoneer. You've probably seen a lot of these or whatnot, but anyway, let's go inside real quick. Now, before I get into some of the gripes I have with this SUV, one thing I do want to point out is this. When it comes to Mopar brand as a whole, a lot of times the technology they use in one car, they transfer and use it in all the other cars. So this does have the Uconnect system here. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is the steering wheel. I know the steering wheel does not look like what the Dodge Charger is going to look like as far as that is concerned, but I want to show y'all that these buttons on the side here, pretty much the buttons, all of this is the exact same buttons that's going to be on the new Dodge Charger. If you look at some pictures, those buttons look the same. So there's an update to the display. I'm gonna show you guys here really quick. So first off, ignore the check engine light and all that type of stuff. Yes, we got a check engine light on this thing for some stupid reason with the starter. But anyway, but yeah, this is not the Grand Wagoneer that has these screens all the way across or whatnot. But when you're looking at the display here, so one thing you can do is this button right here. So when you hit this button right here, you can actually get the display to show up like this. You got multiple screens here. Typically, when with the previous generation Charger and stuff like that, you can only display one thing at a time like this. Now I know all these tire pressures are low. The car has been sitting outside because it does not fit in the garage, so I know that. And this car is about to go back soon, like today. So I'm not putting air in that. I'm not spending time doing that. They can handle that themselves. But nonetheless, when you hit this button right here, you have this display. We know the new Dodge Charger is going to be a full digital display like this. No analog gauges or anything like that. But when you hit that, now you have 5 screens that you can look at. You got your turn angle here. You can have your music there, your map, navigation here. You got your car information. And I think one of these will also have your MPG, your fuel efficiency and stuff like that. So that's something we're going to see on the new Dodge Charger, with this thing being fully digital dash right here. So, and you can go in and you can customize, but you can go in, you can customize these did messed up again. I can't really do it, but you should be able to go in, you can customize these different like screens of what you want to see, right? Maybe you want to have something different there, maybe you want to have something different there, maybe you want to have something different there. So like if I want to change the steering angle, I can change it to something else, right? I can change it out. If I want to change, so I'm gonna go over here. If I want to change this, I can have my fuel level, or oil level, all that. I can change that out, right? If I want to go over here, I can change this out to something else too, my fuel efficiency and all that type of stuff. So this is what we're going to see on the new Dodge Charger. One thing I do hope they do, and this is, and they may can steal this from the Mustang, I do not care. I hope you have an option that you can adjust how the speedometer stuff looks like. I'm going to start it up for you real quick. So if I start it up, of course you guys know that you can go in and let me take that off, and if you want to go in and change this up, like you got your different options here and whatnot, like map and display everything here. A lot of this stuff does look similar to what's on the current one as far as options are concerned. You go on your setup screen here, but you can change this display out to different things. Like if you want it to have the tachometer a certain way, you can do that. Like if I go in the screen setup, you can change that. That looks all familiar to everybody. So I'm gonna have to go back out of that. But here's one of the gripes I have with this car while I'm in here. So this little knob here, it takes some getting used to or whatnot. So if you put this knob in reverse, let me show y'all something here. $80,000 car, right? Put in reverse. This rear view camera is garbage. It's trash. Like, this is nearly an $80,000 SUV, and this rear view camera looks like this. It looks freaking terrible. The Tahoe that we own actually costs less than this Wagoneer, and the Tahoe camera is like 4K quality. Like, it is great quality. But this camera here, it looks pretty much like in my Charger. It has a rear view camera, as you know. It looks like that but bigger. So I have a bigger low definition screen in here, and this is just terrible quality for an SUV that costs that much. That's my main gripe. Now, enough of the griping and stuff like that. Let's go for a quick drive with this car. I want to give you guys a POV of driving this and kind of the feel of the Hurricane engine. I know you guys won't be able to 100% feel how this Hurricane engine does, but I'll talk you through it as I'm going through it here with this car. So we're going to go ahead and start the car up. Ignore all the engine lights. See the Wagoneer stuff comes up on there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna click this down to sport. We're in sport mode here, and you can see we got this Uconnect box requires service. Man, they can deal with that. I just got nothing to do with me at all. So we're gonna go to apps here. You got off-road pages, which is going to be similar to your SRT page. I'll just pull that up right quick. So you got that. We have in sport mode here. My gauges, I'm going to change it out of that. You got your pitch and roll and all that. So let's go to, so you got your speedometer. You see how you can change that up, speedometer here. We'll leave it there. We're in sport mode, so we are going to go here. So let's go. Now this is I'm not sure how much this SUV weighs, but it's a big full-size SUV, as you know. Also, you can change gears with this, like far as shifting with little buttons right there, which I'm not going to do, which is kind of an odd spot, but it is what it is, right? I'm gonna leave out of here real quick, get on the main road, and let you see like how well it pulls pretty good for a big SUV with this 3-liter twin turbo engine in it. Now, of course, it's gonna be really quiet on the inside. Yeah, it's not a performance vehicle at all. This is not made to be the fastest thing in the world as an SUV. That's the Durango's territory. This is a family SUV, but it does hold its own pretty well for a large SUV of this size, right? So I'm almost gonna get to the main road here. There's a sinkhole right there. As y'all can see, a big sinkhole that they fixed but didn't fix. So hopefully we can make it across here and don't die. Yeah, we good. Actually, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Be better. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. It gets up pretty quick now. It gets up pretty quick. It gets up really quick for a big, huge SUV, right? No complaints there at all. I mean, it feels really light on its feet for something this size. It feels like it shouldn't be doing this, but it does it, right? Now let's get into fuel economy. I know when it comes to these cars, we don't really care about fuel economy for the most part, especially us that are buying performance cars. But if you compare this engine directly to the Tahoe engine, the 5.8 liter, this does have a better fuel economy by, I think, like 1 or 2 miles per gallon, which is not a lot, but I guess over time it does help it out in some cases. Yeah, so a better fuel economy than that car, than the Tahoe, and more power, and it's smaller, right? So that's kind of what you want to have happen when it comes to these particular cars or whatnot with the engine. So still interested to see how it would feel in the Dodge Charger that will be coming out. Gonna make this quick turn here, and you can see like really quick how this thing can go. So we're going right here 19, 20 miles an hour. This Durango 30. The thing is right there. See, it got up pretty quick. Let me slow this thing down. This does not have the Brembos like my Scat Pack does, but it'll move. It'll move when we need it to. It would definitely move if we need it to.
I'm not gonna do a launch because this does not have launch control in it. And plus I don't know what's around this corner. So like if I'm gonna start off, me spool it up a little bit here, try it really quick, really fast turn. That it, yeah, it does, it gets up pretty quick. I mean, it's no slouch, I'll tell you that. I'm really, like I said, I'm really interested to see how this thing does in the Dodge Charger. I'm excited to see that part. Will it be worth getting rid of my Hemi for? That I don't know, but I'm like I said, I'm really excited to see what it does.
And that's gonna wrap up today's video, man. Just want to give you guys an idea of how well this Hurricane engine does. It's pretty stout. It makes this big, huge SUV move like it's a much smaller SUV, and when they put it into a much smaller car, it's definitely going to be a pretty quick car for what it is. Like I said, I'm really interested to see how well the engine mods and how well it responds to those mods, how much it's going to take to do all of that type of stuff. So that's going to be something we're going to see when that 6-pack Dodge Charger comes out in late 2025. But if you made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things on this channel, and we want you around for all of that, so make sure you do that. We'll catch you on the next video. We're out. Got it.